Hi everyone, hello, thank you for joining me live, and for everyone who will be joining on the replay, hi there. If it's the first time that we're meeting, my name is Isabel from healthynaturallife.com, and I work with energy healing, animal communication, anything related to consciousness, and to us getting to know ourselves better, how we work, how we interact with our environment, how we create our reality. All of those things are my jam, my passion, what I love to share with you here. And this week we're going to talk about something very practical. I usually try to make everything that I share practical, because otherwise it's just philosophy and it just stays in our mind, doesn't come into a practical application to make our lives better. This one is very practical in nature, pragmatic, because for a lot of us, I would say for pretty much anyone that I know, sugar cravings hit, and when they hit, they can be tricky to navigate. As a society, we're all self-medicated. I can say all, of course, but to a large extent, a lot of us self-medicate, self-soothe with sugar, and it might be sugar in the form really of sugary treats, which is what we would assume, like pastries, like chocolates, like desserts of any kind. Can also be sugar in the form of refined foods like flours, like bread, and things of that nature. And it can also be sugar in liquid form, so not only sodas but also alcohol, which is pretty much sugar in liquid form. So all of these fall into the category of sugar, and when our cravings hit, depending on our tastes, on what we grew up being used to, we can go to either of these to self-soothe. And this week, for some reason, in the last 2-3 days, sugar cravings for me have been a little crazy. So as I was just feeling through it, because it's not the first time that sugar cravings hit for me, but I was just in a much more balanced, energetic state, and I could actually notice what was happening as the sugar cravings were coming up. And because I was more present, also kind of received a download of something to try, and it worked for me. And it has worked in the few times, 5 or 6, that I've used it in these last 2-3 days. So that's what I want to share with you. But before actually going into the techniques or the synthesis of tools that we can use, let me just give you a little bit of a background that might help. And this comes from Ayurveda. But before that, even, this that I'll be sharing here is just a portion of what I have experienced and what will be relevant for me to share in this video, because sugar cravings can come from a lot of different things. We have physical imbalances that can cause sugar cravings. We have emotional imbalances, and usually those are the ones that we fall for the most, that can cause the self-soothing with sugary things. We have energetic imbalances, and this is what we will be addressing as well, that can cause the sugar imbalance, the sugar craving. So it's a big subject, and that's why there isn't just one answer that will solve everything. What I'll be sharing here is part of it. It's what I have used and has worked for me, and it will just be a part even of an explanation of why sugar cravings might hit at some points in our day, actually, for us. So coming back to Ayurveda, there are 5 elements that Ayurveda works with, and they are the ether, air, fire, water, and earth. And they say that there are 3 types of combinations of these elements, that most of us embody 1 or 2 at most. So we can have what they call a vata type of physical constitution, emotional and mental constitution, which is a combination mostly of the elements of ether and air. You can have a pitta type of constitution, physical, emotional, mental, that's a combination of fire and water. And you can have a kapha combination, which is a mix of more water and earth. So they kind of divide the potential imbalances that we might find as human beings in these three categories. And why I'm sharing this is because Vata is the type of combination, the air and ether, that pulls us out of our body. That's very mental, that's very prone to anxiety, to be out living from the head up, completely lost, completely distracted. And when we get into that state of imbalance, our body gets into a panic. It's like, there's no one home. And it tries to ground us. It tries to bring us down back into the body. And the fastest way for us to be brought back into the body when we are in that Vata, airy and heavy state, is to use something like an earth element, kapha element, to just pull us back down into the earth. And the flavor that's most associated with kapha is actually the sweet flavor. So our physical cravings for sweets might very well have an underlying imbalance in terms of energy, of that we are too much in that airy, heavy Vata up here state, and we need something to ground us. And this leads me to the first thing that I have found that really works well for me, and it's grounding, but for me it's not grounding as I used to do it before. So if you have a technique that works for you in terms of grounding, when you start to feel the sugar cravings start to hit, because it's easier to catch it in the beginning than afterwards. It's almost like trying to stop a moving train when it's already fast speed ahead, or trying to stop just a little toy car. Yeah, when you catch it in the beginning, toy car. When it's already up and running, it's going to be harder. So when you start to feel the discomfort that will lead to a sugar craving probably, if you have a grounding practice, just do it. Bring your energy back down, because there's a very good chance that it is your energy that's starting to get into the head, or you're starting even to get into anxiety mode, worry mode. Those are all Vata imbalances, and your body is trying to bring you back down. So grounding. For me, grounding, as I'm doing it now, is slightly different than what I used to do before. So what I do now is I just imagine that the soil or the pavement, wherever I am standing, I imagine that it's just pure energy. So it's porous. It's not physical, solid type of ground. It's just porous. Just pure energy. That's what I'm seeing, almost sparkles of energy. And I imagine that energy just continuing down, down, down into the layers actually of soil of the earth. And in that porous type of energy, I then imagine my own energy descending, and my own energy is porous as well. And it's almost like little sparkles of energy from the earth, little sparkles of energy from me. Everything is becoming immersed. So I am immersing my porous energy into the depths of the porous energy of the earth. That's how I found that for me, grounding works best. There are many techniques. Putting your feet on bare grass if you're outside, that's a brilliant one as well. But if we're in a city environment, this one works very well for me, imagining that the ground is just sparkles of energy, and there are layers and layers and layers, deeper and deeper of earth, and imagining my energy as being just sparkles of energy as well, porous, moving down through those layers, and just feeling completely immersed, almost like entering into water, but completely immersed in the energy of the earth. This almost immediately makes me go, it's a sigh of relief. It's my energy that's being brought back into my body. So that is one, an energy of grounding. Another thing that I wanted to share, because it's interesting for us to be aware, is that for me, mostly when I do get cravings, it's in between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. And what I've seen as well from Ayurveda, and by the way, I'm not an expert in Ayurveda, it's just a body of knowledge that I find fascinating and been studying on and off probably for the past 2-3 years, is that they divide the times of day into those three combinations of energies that I mentioned, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha as well. So they say that between 2 and 6 p.m., those are Vata times. So those are times where we will more naturally be in that airy up energy. From 6 p.m. to 6 to 10 p.m., that's a Kapha time. So it's the earth and water, more grounding time. And then from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning, it's a Pitta time. So if by that time we're not getting ready to go to sleep, we can actually get a second wind of energy and just be very, very fiery and trying to tidy everything, trying to work, trying to do whatever, when it's actually time for us to be asleep. So we have a Vata time that if we are prone to that heaviness to coming out of our body, to that imbalance of energy, that is the time where we'll feel it the most, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So that's almost a heads up. And on top of that, because apparently all of these things are working together, the Ayurveda also classifies our digestion into stages. And the later stage of digestion, the later stages are also Vata stages. So when our food moves from our stomach and it's already moving through the small intestine and into the colon, those are as well Vata times. And I found that for me, when I start to really get the desperation of I need something, and the something is usually sweet. Sometimes it can go salty, and that's another flavor that will ground us, but it's usually sweet. So when I start getting that, it is usually when food has already left my stomach and it's already traveling through the small intestine, going into the colon. All of these are pretty much adding Vata energy in terms of the digestion stage, Vata energy in terms of the time of the day, Vata energy maybe in terms of me being entertained with something mental. All of that just creates a really strong imbalance in that type of airy, disembodied, in the head type of energy. And that's what causes a really, really strong I need to be grounded. So a really strong for something earthy, something to ground us. And earthy in terms of food is earthy. Food grounds us. When we eat, when we drink, we become grounded more with food because it is solid. It helps us ground back into the body. And sweet is the flavor of kapha, so of the earth. So it's the one that we will probably most naturally crave, sweet and salty as well. So that's the the background, so you can understand your own rhythms as well. If you feel that it's something similar to what I experienced, it's a good thing to be in, to have in the back of our minds, to be aware of, because then we can start being aware at those times and see, is this starting to go off balance? Let me use now the tools that I have to start grounding, so you balance your energy before it actually gets into that fast moving train mode, completely out of syntony for you. I think that's what I wanted to share in terms of yeah. Okay, so I have a little list of notes that I wanted to share just for the whys of us actually experiencing the cravings. And then of course there's the emotions. For me, worry and anxiety, because it is something that I've experienced so much in OCD, and I know the pain that those emotions can bring me. It's something that I really have this type of reaction to. Innately, I try to avoid it, which is something that doesn't really work, and I know that, but innately I try to avoid it. So sugar is a really good soother as well of those emotions. It's almost like it doesn't dissolve them, but it feels like it. It brings us that sigh of relief when we eat something sweet. And for instance, if we're angry, it will do the exact same thing. Sweets will bring the sweetness back into our emotional state, into our mental state. It will help counteract, but it will not solve it. So the anger will still be there, the worry will still be there, the patterns will still be there, but as a remedy, it will help us feel better in the moment. So we use sugar for that a lot, to release the anxiety from the emotions, or to release the discomfort. That's more like it. And for that, the solution is really to start going into it. Okay, so I'm feeling angry. Let me just feel the sensations. Let the energy flow unresisted. And that's what we've been talking about for the last, I don't even know, pretty much in all videos this comes up. So whenever it is a soothing for emotions, you can do this that I'm going to share now as well, but know that there is something in that emotion that just wants to be seen, wants to be felt, wants to be fully allowed through, so that the experience isn't undigested in your own energy field and in your body. So as you feel it, as you unresist it, it naturally flows out and becomes part of your life force energy, nourishing you, instead of being something that you need to use energy to push against. And now the technique itself that I found just happened naturally. It's a combination, let's call it, of Jin Shin Jutsu, which is a Japanese art of balancing our energy. It's similar in ways to acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine. And there is as well the understanding from Chinese medicine. And it's just you're going to use your hands to massage some parts of your body and some parts of your body. What I found when I have that craving, I found that it's almost my solar plexus and my belly that do this, almost like a pulling up. So there you can just start moving it down. But there's also, and when I say moving it down, it's just relaxed attention. When you feel that trying to pull up, it's almost like you're pulling the roots up from the ground. Relax, let your energy move down into place again. And we're going to massage. That's my suggestion to you. Use your hands if you want, rub them a little bit, especially if they're cold, and just massage here at the level of the kidneys in the back. What I found is that a vigorous but not forceful, so you are applying pressure but not too much pressure, so it's something to almost like a revitalizing massage in the kidney area here in the back, while breathing deeply. So it will be breathing with a sigh of relief. You're going to breathe into the area that you're massaging in the kidneys and breathe out with just that type of a sigh. It would look like something like this. And do this for about 5, 6, 7, 8 times, the breaths, and then move a little further to the side. So it would be here instead of center, sides. And this would be on the left side, this will be the spleen area. On the right side, we'll be massaging the liver area. And do the same, just continue to massage in the center maybe, and open up a little as you massage to the sides. With deep sighs, breaths of relief. And this is a combo of things, and you just do that until you feel settled, grounded. What we are massaging here is the kidneys. The kidneys in traditional Chinese medicine are the organs that store the emotion of fear. So by massaging, by putting our hands in there, our energy, our consciousness, attention, and breath in the kidneys, we are soothing that fear that's also causing the craving to try to medicate the fear that we're experiencing. When we move to the sides, we have the spleen, which is the organ, again, in traditional Chinese medicine, that's associated with worry and anxiety. So we are doing the same massaging, bringing breath, bringing energy, bringing a true energetic vibrational soothing. And when we are massaging on the right side and the liver, the liver is the organ that stores anger, frustration, according again traditional Chinese medicine. So we are helping as well bring that soothing, that energetic presence, that groundedness to these organs. So these three are major organs in terms of our emotional imbalances. And when you massage them, you're bringing energy, you're bringing your attention, because you are touching your body and actually applying a little bit of loving pressure, and you are bringing breath, and with the breath comes also energy. And as you breathe in deeply and as you breathe out with a sigh of relief, like a breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth, and do make the sound, because that will bring the energy that's stagnant from the organs out and in through and into the voice out to the air. So it's releasing the stagnant energy and the pent-up emotion from the organ out through you into the air to just dissolve it. And this is what you do. Just start massaging in the kidneys, start opening up a little bit to the sides, and just deep breaths, really deep breaths. Breathe out. Breathe out. And at least for me, 5-6 of these usually get me into okay, I'm happy now. And if I still feel that I'm a little bit heavy, then after this, doing that grounding where I feel the earth as just, or the pavement, it's just pure energy, sparkles of energy, and my energy being immersed as sparkles of energy as well in the layers of the earth. This will take care of the rest, just grounding me and helping the organs physically, helping the body with energy, with balancing to come back to a more harmonious state, and for the energy to start moving again. Because when we are in the vata type of imbalance, everything is up here, and in here in the body, things just almost come to a halt. Everything gets disorganized, chaotic, and when we bring our awareness back into the body, we are bringing the it's not order, it's the coherence, natural principle of our awareness. We are embodied, everything starts rebalancing itself. And if you want to try, because this is a very helpful type of breathing as well, you can also do a little bit 4 rounds of alternate nostril breathing, because that will help the positive and negative energies of prana to be balanced in you as well. And there are different ways of doing this. I just use these 2 fingers. You would inhale first, you would cover the right nostril, close it, inhale through the left nostril, close it, exhale through the right nostril, then inhale through the right nostril, close it, exhale through the right nostril. And you would do this would be 1 cycle, and you would do this 4 times. So it would be inhale through the left, exhale through the right, and exhale, inhale through the right, exhale through the left. That's 1. You do 4 of these. And the inhale and the exhale, if you can keep it at a timing of 4 in, just wait a little bit in between inhale and exhale, then 4 or 8 out. Now 8 would be an ideal one, because it will help you calm down. So suggestion, 4 counts on the inhale, wait for a little bit, 8 counts on the exhale. Then again, without pause, 4 counts on the inhale, wait a little bit again, 8 counts on the exhale. And do this a few times. You don't really have to count them. 4 repetitions usually will do the trick of a complete alternate nostril breathing. And that will help again with the polarities being harmonized in your lungs and in your body. So those are my suggestions. That's a lot of suggestions actually, but that's just it's simple. So it's three things. The first one that I will suggest is the massage. Massage the kidneys and spleen, liver area with deep breaths in and loud, audible relief breath sighs out. So do that for a little bit, 5-6 repetitions. I don't know, see what feels good for you. Then there's the grounding. Mix your energy with the earth, because a lot of the sugar cravings, it's our body going into a panic of you're not home, come back down, bringing our energy back into the body. So grounding or mixing in your energy with the earth energy will help soothe that as well. And then there's this, if you want to play with it as well, alternate nostril breathing. That will help the negative and positive polarities in you become more balanced, and it will be a lot easier to think, to act, even to breathe when we have both polarities in a dynamic balance. So I hope this was useful. That put it to the test. I would love to hear how this works for you, because again, I'm just sharing what worked and is working for me, and further down the road, something else might actually come up that's useful. I would love to hear how it works for you as well, so we can share it. And that's what I wanted to share today. Hope you enjoyed it. Comment if you have any questions, like, share the video, do what you feel inspired. Thank you for watching this and for joining me live, and I'll see you on the next video.